All right, so welcome to the signature segment of the 3-hour news show on See Today. See the stories, and before we begin our talk show, let me ask my fellow host, Chris here. So, Chris, do you consume milk every day, and what type of milk do you take?
Actually, no, because I'm lactose intolerant.
Right,
and,
including plant-based milk. You don't take plant-based
Well,
milk?
I do occasionally, but not on a daily basis because I believe that I can get all the nutrients from my nutritional intake, like from my breakfast, lunch, and dinner with a balanced meal. Like I consume carbohydrates, complex one, if I can, complex carbs, lots of fibers, lots of vegetables, and also enough protein as well. So I believe that that covers all my nutritional needs. I don't need milk. However, I do consume milk for recreational purpose.
Right, so it could be like one in what? 1 week?
Once a week,
in 1 week?
yeah,
Or
once a week. Or
just for
sometimes I cook with
recreational
milk
purpose?
too, like when you make the
Latte.
bechamel sauce
Ah,
or
interesting.
pasta. Sometimes you put milk in, right?
Right. You
Yeah.
don't have to get all the nutrients from milk because of
No.
that condition of lactose intolerant, right? But anyway, all types of milk contain various nutrients that are good for one's health. And let's have a look at the following story about the benefits of milk.
So, milk contains important nutrients for bone health, such as calcium, phosphorus, vitamin D, and protein. According to a research, drinking 1 cup of milk per day can be part of a healthy diet. Drinking non-fat milk can reduce risk of cardiovascular disease, stroke, high blood pressure, and osteoporosis. Drinking milk at night can also help you sleep easily and stay asleep longer. Well, depends on who drinks it, right?
I don't have any problem actually with animal-based milk, for example, like cow milk or goat milk, but I prefer actually nowadays almond milk because,
Yes.
well, from the source that I read, it's lower in cholesterol and lower in fat as well.
That's right. Well, it seems like we know so much about milk based on our experiences, right?
Right.
But we have to confirm it with the expert, of course, to know more about the nutrition in various types of milk. We have now in our studio nutritionist Angel Jovi, or also known as AJ. Welcome, AJ.
Hi, AJ. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm so glad to be here.
So good to have you today. Okay, first of all, I'm a mom.
Wow. Okay.
And usually among moms, we discuss about milk, right?
Exactly.
Children need to drink milk, but what type? There are so many. There are too many
Yes.
in the
exactly.
supermarket, and we don't really know about each benefits of, for example, the pasteurized milk. Can you first of all mention the types of milk that are available on the market, the animal-based? Okay.
So that's basically like a full cream milk. So there is a skim milk as well. So UHT, the ultra processed milk, and also there is a plant-based milk as well. So I think there's very various type of milk in supermarket nowadays. So I think we have a lot of options, I would say. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Can you explain one by one from the ultra processed one?
What is the differences between
Yeah,
that?
what is the
I believe in
difference?
terms of nutrition is the lowest, right? The UHT, because it's ultra processed.
Yes, exactly. Because if you are talking about the full cream milk, like the fresh milk, so that the fresh milk, it contains a lot of nutrients because it's fresh. But the side effect is you need to keep it fresh, and then you need to take a look for the temperature. So when you buy a fresh milk, don't forget to put on the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Because when you buy a fresh milk and then you just put on the normal temperature, it will be easiest to brew.
I see.
It's not really good to put on the normal temperature. But for the ultra processed one, the nutrients is not. I would say for the nutritional compositions, it will much be the same, but it's easiest to store.
True.
Because it's not really you don't need to watch about the temperature. You can just put easily in the room temperature as well. And there is an option also for the low fat milk, where there is a fresh milk, but the fat content is lower than usual.
I see. But I heard somewhere that low-fat milk is basically like a regular milk, but it's you add more water to it. Is it right?
No, no, no. It's not right. Like it's actually running from the process that you are actually extracted the fat and then you just lower the saturated fat. Because basically in the fresh milk, because it's coming from the animal source, it's a lot of content for saturated fat.
I see.
And that's why it's also high in cholesterol as well.
Okay, so that's the downside of
That's
fresh
the
milk,
downside.
right? We're going to talk more about plant-based milk as well and how people are now getting more lactose intolerance and
Yes.
how to deal with it. But before that, I'd like to draw our conversation to a more wider point of view, right? What is actually the benefit of milk, despite its sources, whether it's animal-based or plant-based? Generally, what are the benefits of it?
So generally, it's first, this is a source of energy. So when you drink milk, it's actually can boost your energy, but also there's a source of protein, source of calcium, vitamin D, and vitamin B12, and also phosphorus as well, and potassium.
Is it true that all these nutrients is actually needed by people
Exactly.
under 30? Because what I read from an article that people after 40, they are not advised to consume cow milk because of the fat, contained, and also maybe the cholesterol contained as well.
Yes, I would suggest if you are more than 30, you need to find a low-fat milk, or if you have, because sometimes when you getting older, you need also to check, are you lactose intolerant or not? Because it might be, maybe before 30, you are fine. You are totally fine to drink milk as much as you want. But as time older, your intestine is getting, I would
More
say,
sensitive.
more sensitive towards the lactose. And then somehow the lactase enzyme is not produced a lot more than before. So I think when you feel that kind of diarrhea after you drink cow's milk, I would suggest try to find an alternative milk, such as from the plant-based milk as well.
I see. Okay, can we talk more about plant-based milk? Because
Okay.
the fact that I'm lactose intolerant, of course, I would buy the plant-based one.
Yes.
But nowadays, we see so many articles talking about it, how bad it is for us. Because
Yeah.
at first, people were crazy about it, right?
Yes.
Almond milk, oat milk, whatever. But nowadays, they are saying that oat milk is bad for you because of the sugar content in it. Can you tell us, is it myth or fact? Is it right or not?
Okay, so first of all, why it's very viral to talk about the plant-based milk? When you try to see the content, the nutritional content, the compositions of the oat milk mostly is hydrogenated oils.
Oil?
Oils. Too bad.
Why is
but because when you create a milk, let's say oat milk, oat is basically a carbohydrates.
True.
There's no fat content in it. But if you're talking about the texture of the milk, you want to get the creamiest texture as like a normal milk. If you're talking about cow's milk, because cow's milk is contain fat, and then you can see when you drink, you feel creamy inside the mouthfeel. In oat milk, when you try to match the texture, you need to add more oil on that.
Oh, that's why.
That's why it's more creamy texture. And also, it's not about oat milk as well. When you're talking about the almond milk, let's say.
Rory. Almond milk.
I'm taking attention,
Talking about the almond milk, you need to also see the sugar content.
But what about if I make it homemade? For example, I process my oat,
Yes.
my almond
Almond.
into my homemade milk. That's be okay, right?
That's so much better. But you need to watch if you are homemade. It means that it's easy to it's easy to brew. It's not really the shelf life is not that long. Because if you are looking for the almond milk and oat milk in the supermarket, it's actually already adding the preservative.
Right.
So
Okay.
that's also the downside if you are.
Yeah.
So I think if you create like by homemade, please make it in batch. So do not need to make in a whole
Okay.
batch.
Some, okay.
But
Like
keep it in batch.
Crisia does, right? Some people take plant-based milk because they have sort of condition with their body, right? But in terms of the health benefits, in terms of the nutrients that our body needs, which one is actually better?
I would say it really depends on your body conditions. If you're talking about, if you do not have the lactose intolerant and then you take like cow's milk, protein in cow's milk, or in animal-based milk, is higher than the plant-based milk.
Okay, that's protein.
That's the protein. And also the calcium. The calcium in the plant-based milk is sometimes lower, unless it's fortified with vitamin as well. Because calcium is you cannot find calcium in plant-based milk.
And sometimes being fortified means that you put
additional
that is chemical thing, right?
It's really depend also about from the product from the factory.
Oh, okay.
Industry.
Right.
It can be organic, it can be chemical.
Okay.
So
And
it
then?
really depends. And then also if you're talking about the benefit, for me, if you are lactose intolerant, of course, regardless of the protein, you can find the plant-based milk, but with the similar comparison of protein, such as soy milk. Soy milk is the best options for if you are looking to compare the protein with the cow's milk. Because if you compare cow's milk with the almond and with the oat, the protein is not comparable.
You know what, Chris is actually planning to be a bodybuilder, so soy milk it is.
Don't
for
trust
you.
him. Okay, AJ, I will give you one statement and then you will decide whether it's true or false. Okay?
Yes, for sure.
A person must drink milk in order to be healthy. True or false?
False.
Okay, I totally agree because earlier you mentioned the nutritional content in milk, right? And you mentioned protein, fat, vitamin B. We can get that from other sources,
Exactly.
right? Now, why I ask you this is because most people here in the country still believe that in order to be healthy, you gotta drink milk because especially people who were born in year 1990, we are familiar with 4 Sehat 5 Sempurna, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
Milk is a must, but they
to
are
make
not
it
aware.
perfect.
Exactly. But that's not the case, right?
Yes.
Okay, can you please tell the audience that?
Exactly. So actually, I need to change your mindset, please. Millennials, Gen Z,
Yep.
you need to hear this because actually we already changed the mindset from 4 Sehat 5 Sempurna to piring gizi seimbang, the balanced nutrition, which we are not need essentially for milk, but we need to balance everything from carbohydrates. The first pillars is carbohydrates. We need to find the complex one, and also we need to find the protein, and then we also need to mix whether animals and plant-based milk. Plant-based protein.
Yeah.
And then the third one, the most important one, and this is not really mentioning in the 4 Sehat 5 Sempurna, is the fiber. The fiber is very important. Usually, when we took our plate and then we want to eat, our fiber is only the garnish.
Yes.
A lot of our plate is full of
Gorengan.
and gorengan.
Typical Indonesian breakfast, nasi uduk.
Yes, exactly. And then we forget about how about our fiber intake then. Right? And that's why our Kementerian Kesehatan, like our health ministry of health, is creating these rules to ensure that our fiber intake is fulfilled.
Right.
To ensure that our plate, half of it, needs to fill with fiber and fruit.
So everybody, we have
Take
moved
notes.
from
Take notes.
4 healthy and 5 perfect to like one full
Balanced
plate of nutrients. Balanced one,
Balanced
right? So, exactly. And this is something that is really odd. I just recently find out that we've got fish milk as well. And in fact, this milk is going to be used as the government's program of free lunch, right? Rolling out in several months to come. So we are, a country with the longest, sea line. Why would we need fish milk instead of eating fish? So what is the function of actually fish milk? And what is it?
So it's actually fish milk is not really widely consumed at the moment. It's not really often that we are drinking from fish milk. I would say if it's better to have to eat
fish, right?
To eat fish
Rather than
directly
drink
rather than drink
fish milk.
It sounds like very.
But what is it?
fish milk?
Is it
Exactly.
normal that people consume fish milk? I've never heard of that before.
In some of the areas there is a populations that drinks fish milk. It's not
common.
widely. It's
What
not
I'm
really
afraid of, Chris, is that people would or producers would put, I don't know, like taste enhancer to tackle the fishiness aroma,
Yes,
right, of
yes,
that. So
exactly.
it's chemical again in our fish.
And also you need to find a source of the fish itself. Because even though like Indonesia has a lot of sea, right? But if you're talking about our sea, it's not really clean anymore.
Yes.
And then if you are took the fish from the dirty sea, I don't think it's a best option.
In fact, we are one of the highest microplastic consumers in the
Exactly.
world, right? So I'd like to eat my pempek instead of fish milk.
Still fried or steamed?
Steamed and pempek.
Okay,
It's
while
better
still
one.
on the topic, you mentioned earlier that our sea is currently polluted.
Yeah.
I think that's the same case with the cow's milk. I mean, in the olden
true.
days, no one's lactose intolerant, I believe. Anyone can drink milk and would be totally fine, would be healthy even. But nowadays, we know that the milk industry, I mean, they inject the cows with antibiotics.
Yes.
They do that. I mean, the cows are not in the happy place.
Exactly.
They're not
Cows now
eating
live in
grass.
landfill.
Exactly. Now, can you please explain that, educate us about it, that it's not that the milk is unhealthy, it's how the cow that are producing milk is raised that is the problem.
Yes.
Can you please enlighten us?
Okay, so in my personal opinion, if I'm looking for the cow's milk, first tips, you need to find the grass-fed one.
Can we find it here in the country? It's hard, right?
It's quite hard, but there is an option available in the online store.
But not in the regular supermarket.
Not in a regular supermarket. It's not really common because as we know that our grass in Indonesia, as time goes by, as time goes by, there's a lot of like a farming industry building. You change the land to the building, to the highest building, and so that's the thing. It's kind of hard to find a land to farmer a cows. So if you can find the organic one, and then you can ensure that the cow's source is eat grass, not eat corn, not eat like a pesticide or antibiotics, and raised organically, that's the best option that you can drink from the cow's animal.
Okay.
Okay, please, one more, please.
Go ahead.
While we're in
Mom.
the
Go ahead,
Go ahead, Mom.
Okay, we cannot control the industry, right? Of course.
Exactly.
We are steered by them.
Yeah.
But we can be a smart consumer.
Exactly.
Now, can you teach us how to be one? How to be a smart consumer? How to read the table of contents?
The contents. Yes, exactly. First of all, please take a look on the sugar level first.
Sugar level.
Sugar
If it's
level.
fresh milk, it doesn't have sugar, right?
It
It
has.
does.
It
Does.
even
But
has for
sucrose
fresh
and-
milk?
What's
Yes.
the difference between sucrose and glucose?
Oh, it's actually just the similar type of glucose, but glucose is the smallest type of the glucose. So glucose is the smallest type of glucose. How should I say? So it's easiest to absorb.
Okay.
Sucrose is a glucose plus glucose, so it's like double of glucose.
Okay, so how to read the table of contents?
So how to read the table of contents? You see first the sugar content. So there is a sugar or glucose in the table of the nutrient, and then you can compare between fresh and skim and between the flavored one. So I would suggest please keep for the plain flavor one.
plain
and
flavor.
plain-
Still have sugar, right?
Still have sugar.
Like how many grams
but
can we tolerate? Under what? How many grams?
I don't think that we have like specific for the tolerate for sugar, because if you drink only one cup a day, it won't hurt you.
Yeah,
it won't,
moderation is
yeah,
key,
yeah, moderation is a key. It won't hurt you. It doesn't mean that if the sugar content is 10 grams per serving, it's bad for you. No, I don't think
Okay.
like that.
So, yeah, right. So we're going to take a break for now, and I'm going to ask you about what can go with milk. I heard that like watermelon cannot go with milk, mango as well. So
Really?
I'd like to clarify that is it right or not, but
Yes.
take it away, Chris.
All right then. I cannot wait to hear the answer, but unfortunately we gotta take a break. So do not go anywhere. Stay with us right here on the 3 Hour News Show on C Today. We'll be right back.